10 things you may not know about Slash. Aerosmith's Rocks was a major part of his early years playing guitar. I remember first hearing Rocks at a party I was at, and it immediately caught my attention. Slash told Guitar World. Then, shortly after I started picking up guitar, I was exposed to it again and started listening to it over and over. It had this manic punk rock attitude and a rhythm and blues sleaziness to it. There was something about that particular album that really hit a nerve with me. It was everything: the vocals, the bass and drums, Brad, Whitford, and Joe Perry. Their sound really set me off in the direction I wanted to go. He has an interest in reptiles. I started with the whole reptile, dinosaur, and monster fascination as far back as I can remember. Slash told Reptiles magazine. When I was young and lived in London, I think that one of the biggest thrills that I had was going to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is a big park, and it had huge, life-size sculptures of dinosaurs. The figures they had, though, were completely anatomically incorrect. I kept going there and looking at the sculptures and was very much into that. He produces horror films on the side. Everything about doing this is exciting to me. A lot because I've had a passion for movies, and especially horror movies, for as long as I can remember, he told Rolling Stones. So at this stage of the game, to have the opportunity to be able to produce horror movies is great, and to be hands-on behind the scenes and getting to finally be involved where it can influence the outcome of what the picture is gonna be and what it is gonna look like is very exciting. He has a deep appreciation for vinyl. Being a musician, it is important to me how a record sounds, how it is packaged, how you can make it more personable. Slash told Bundle Media. I grew up in the age of vinyl, which is a huge contrast to what it feels like to purchase an album now and what that felt like as a fan, from sonic quality to artwork. Now the packaging is gone and people are recording from their laptops and their phones. It's drastically changed and become much more convenient and immediate, but it has become faceless at the same time. I'm excited to see how this changes in the future. Favors individual expression over technique in guitar playing. A lot of players in my neighborhood in West Hollywood, or who I was hearing in clubs at the time, were losing the vocal aspect of lead the guitar playing. He told Gibson.com. I just stuck to what I had always dug about lead playing, which was never about technique as a goal. It was about the individuality of the guys I had grown up listening to. The fact that each had his own personality. I never jumped on that bandwagon of trying to outflash the next guy. Scariest movie he has ever seen is Night of the Living Dead. The most scared I've been in a movie that I can remember was when I was a kid and I saw Night of the Living Dead in the backseat of my mom's Volkswagen at a drive-in. Slash told Rolling Stone. I was like 7 or 8 years old and it was a double feature with The Exorcist. And The Exorcist, because I love monsters and those kind of practical effects, I was more fascinated and developed a crush on Linda Blair. But Night of the Living Dead was a very ominous, haunting, and brutal movie. And I remember specific scenes that have stayed with me all these years. Since then, I'm more fascinated in I love creepy stuff. I don't call for psycho movies or people that run around killing each other. When it comes to his band, the Conspirators, he takes the jam band approach. We have always had a collective like-mindedness. Everybody just wants to play, he told the Independent. There is nothing else that we really concern ourselves with. We just like jamming. When we get together and work, we work really hard. But you do not even realize. Wherever ideas come, everyone's very enthusiastic about trying to figure out their own version or their own interpretation. We are just having such a good time and we are all on the same page. What is his favorite thing about rock music? Riffs. Riffs have always been such a cool thing. One of the things I love most about rock and roll music, he told Gibson.com. I think that's the biggest thing. What influenced you and what excites you as a player. You have to be attuned to it. A great riff makes you feel something special inside when you're playing it. Most great riffs have something within the rhythm that is sexy, something you feel that makes it work for you. He stays current with music and is a fan of some newer rock and metal bands. One of my favorite bands out there is Rival Sons. Another one is Monster Truck, he told artistdirect.com. They're really good. Another one is from Australia, Airburn. They're very much like AC/DC. Gojira is just starting to make waves now. They are killer. There's a band from LA called Hillbilly Heralds. They are one of the best live bands I've seen in recent memory. He is a huge metal head. There's a big metal influence that I have always had since I was first turned on to Black Sabbath. I've always loved metal bands. This entire time, they've just been making music with whatever resources they have and gaining a hardcore fan base, he told The Independent. Now that we are in this place where everybody's in a panic because the music business has turned completely upside down, they're like, well, we're cool. We've been doing it our own way all along. To this day, the only thing in rock and roll that survived the test of the millennium has been metal.